absolutely the opposite. And none of this is in our control. Somehow in society, we think that how much we weigh is in our control. And it's not. It's not. It's in our brain is
It's
in
like
control.
the alcohol.
Oh my God.
What I'm getting ready to show y'all, this is one of the most embarrassing. I can't even say, I don't even know if embarrassing is the right word. This is one of the sickest things that I've ever seen. This is one of the most disgusting things that I've ever seen. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. Cool. I'll take that. So Oprah did a podcast with a doctor. Let me get the doctor's name. I got the doctor's name. Hold on one second. Let me just make this smaller for a second. So Oprah did a podcast with Dr. Ania Jastreboff, an endocrinologist and associate professor at the Yale School of Medicine, to talk about these GLP-1 medications. So that's the Mounjaro, I believe, and the Ozempic. Oprah does a podcast to talk about Ozempic and weight loss drugs. Now, I guess going into it, we should assume that they have people that are going to have, different opinions. I didn't listen, different views on it. I believe that she brings on a couple people on the show that are going to talk about their experiences. I haven't seen all the experiences. I have not seen all the experiences. So therefore, I'm going to be looking at them with you guys for the first time. But there are two clips that I wanted to point out before we actually hear what maybe some of the women and their experiences were, to see if it's a balanced perspective, or to see if this is just another thing that is convincing us to be victims, that we're not in control. And matter of fact, let me not give too much context to where I'm taking the weight out of it. I want y'all to feel what's about to happen here.
Experience the same level of shame and embarrassment.
Hold on. Is it playing?
And why can't I?
All right. Let me reset it. For some reason, I could hear it,
Ways
but
those
I can't
regions-
see it. All right. Listen to this. We'll go back a little bit so y'all can get
Now I know why they were wrong.
When you're living it, it is so hard.
Yeah, of course, you blame
It's
yourself.
so hard. It's so.
And any person who's watching or listening to us right now who has suffered.
Hold on. You blame yourself. You blame yourself for you being overweight and obese? Let's go back. Maybe she couldn't have said that. Maybe she was talking about something else.
Because I thought I deserved it. I accepted it.
Yeah.
I was shamed by it. And I received it because I thought, well, they're right.
Right.
They're
And they
right.
were wrong.
And they were
And
wrong.
they
Now
are
I know they were so
wrong.
wrong.
But when
now I
you're
know why
living
they
it-
were wrong.
When you're living it, it is so hard.
Yeah, of course, you blame
It's
yourself.
so hard. It's so.
And any person who's watching or listening to us right now who has suffered from obesity or being overweight, you know exactly what I'm talking
Yes.
about. You do not have to be on television every day to experience the same level of shame and embarrassment and why can't I do this? And I'm so good at so many other things and I can take charge of my life and I can do all of
Right.
this. And why
Right.
can't I?
Right.
So the outside world telling you
That's right.
that you are less than, that you should be shamed,
That's right.
feels like the punishment you deserve.
And it's absolutely the opposite. It's absolutely the opposite. And none of this is in our control. Somehow in society, we think that how much we weigh is in our control. And it's not. It's not. It's in our brain is
It's
in
like
control.
the alcoholic.
Yale doctors. All I want to say is HBCUs, man. Now is the time. Now is the time more than ever for HBCUs to compete. This is a Yale doctor. Did y'all hear what she just said? Like, am I bugging or is it like, tell me, please tell me if I'm tripping. Did y'all just hear what she said? it's the your weight is not in your control. It's in your brain's control. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? This is a doctor pushing this with one of the most influential people in the world. This is why when I tell y'all that, let me chill out a little bit. Let me have some more tea. Hold on. This is why when I tell y'all or share with y'all of how it works based on the doctors that I've spoken to, where the big pharma, they control the medical schools based on the amount of money that they donate, based on the opportunities that they can present to a lot of these surgeons and doctors. They control the medical schools, they control the agendas, they control the curriculum, they control every aspect of the medical schools simply with, well, how else is anybody else controlled? With money. So you have a doctor get on here and say that your weight is not in your control. What do you think that will tell people? This is the same victim mindset, the same thing that we talk about with the Democrats and the liberals, telling people that they want to vote for them. It's not your fault why you're impoverished. It's not your fault why you're not rich like those people, that those Republicans, they're just racist. This is why people are not inspired. This is why people don't feel that they can take their entire life in their own hands, take control of their entire life. Because you have doctors saying stuff that doesn't even make sense. This is not in your control. It's in your brain's control. But let's see what she's going to say after that, because maybe she makes some sense and maybe the point's going to land a little bit later on. But let's go back and hear her out.
Feels like.
And hold on, I'm going to be very disappointed if I didn't have any comments on here. All right, let me get back. All right, because I was like, hold on, because I was looking out, I was on the other window, and I'm like, hold on, let me check back to see if anybody commented. Shout out to Mama Lay in the building. All right, so she's still on Diddy. I've read there's a multitude of things that led to his arrest. Nonetheless, whether she agreed or not, there's never a reason for violence, and I doubt it was the first time or the first person. And I think what you just said, I agree with 100%. But I think this is what happens when we get caught up in talking about Diddy. We're associating what Diddy's locked up for. We're connecting that directly to Cassie and the video that we saw. That's not what he's locked up for. It's something totally different, which is why I said from the beginning, if we're going to condemn Diddy for what he did with Cassie, condemn him for those things. We saw them. We don't need to see anything else. We actually saw what was happening, but we haven't seen the other things. We haven't seen evidence of the other stuff. Diddy may be guilty. I don't even like Diddy. Just to be totally honest, I haven't liked Diddy for a very long time. Like, not that I hate him, but I just don't bang with him. But like, that doesn't mean that I'm always just going to say anything that's Nick. Let me, y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all get what I'm saying. All right. So based on the Oprah thing, Queez wrote, what? Yeah. Russell Westbrook voice. What? Y'all is tripping. That's what Queez means by Russell. That y'all is tripping. Mindset. So apparently we're not in control of our mindset, but let's keep going, because maybe, like I said, maybe she's going to explain it, land the point later on, and maybe I'm just missing something that y'all can help me understand.
The punishment you deserve.
And it's absolutely the opposite. It's absolutely the opposite. And none of this is in our control. Somehow in society, we think that how much we weigh is in our control. And it's not. It's not. It's in our brain is in control.
It's like the alcoholic finally realizing that it's not my willpower that caused me not to be able to pick up the next drink.
And just like with alcohol, those reward motivation pathways, those regions in the brain really respond in a certain way when someone who has alcohol use disorder is drinking alcohol. In terms of obesity,
look, I one thing that I do agree with her on is it's your brain. Yes, that's you. Anybody that does not feel that they're in control of their brain, then clearly you have some issues. clearly, even if you don't have what we would call issues, then you clearly have something holding you back. Is that fair to say? Like there's going to be significant things that are holding you back. Uncle Brother wrote, should we really be surprised? Oprah sold her soul a long time ago. I agree. Money rules in America. I agree. She's a safer pay celebrity now. That's a fact. And it's the majority of them. It's the majority of them. Queez wrote it's Trump's fault. Think about this. And Uncle Brother, to your point, should we really be surprised? I'll be honest. The people on this show, us, I know that we're not going to be surprised. But think about the majority of people. Think about the majority of people that are being convinced that it's better to take Ozempic than it is to work out and change your diet. She's convincing people that it's not even your diet. Oh, it's not what this is a mental, you know what's so funny? You know what's so funny? All right, this is y'all gonna, and we got Sodom and Gomorrah coming up too, because y'all told me to check out Revelations and y'all told me to check out Sodom and Gomorrah. But you know what's so funny about all this? She's pretty much saying it like this is a disease, like this is like a mental health disorder almost. That's what it sounds like that she's saying. Or maybe I'm hearing it differently. And Bez wrote, one can't completely control your brain. Of course, you can't completely control your brain. However, the person that controls their brain the most, they're going to have more discipline, more self-control. So that's the point that I was trying to make. So the people that control their brain the most, the people that control their desire for lust, the people that have discipline in various areas of your life, 100%, you're going to have more success. Do you agree, disagree? Maybe not. I don't know. So going back to Uncle Brother's question, should we really be surprised? Look around at America. Look around at the people that have been convinced that, oh, you can't lose this weight. You can't lose this weight. And I got a little sidetracked. The point that I was going to connect it to is, why is it a mental block when it comes to this? But when a boy grows up with a penis, but then feels that he's a kitty cat or feels that he's a woman, why is that not a mental disorder? I'm just wondering. Why is it always, yo, you're obese, but don't worry, that's a mental health disorder. That's a disease. Like, damn. You're telling me that when I can't control eating an extra Twinkie or can't control not working out, can't control that it's a mental health disorder, but when I grow up with a penis but feel like I should have a vagina, you can't even question whether or not that's a mental health disorder. That is the world. This is why Donald Trump is the president. Just my opinion. This is why Donald Trump is the president. Because people on here have convinced us that you have, and to Bez's point, once again, of course you can't completely control your brain. These doctors have convinced us that we are in no control. Just like Democrats have convinced poor people that they're in no control. This is happening to you. This is all just happening to you. You can't get out of poverty. This is a racist country, white supremacy. There's neo-Nazis. Didn't you see what they did in Charlottesville? George Floyd, the cop put a knee on somebody's neck. So how can we expect poor people to get ahead? This is the same thing. And doctors are pushing it. And I don't know. Queez wrote, it's Trump's fault. Y'all heard me say Bez comment. One can't completely control the brain. Cuzzo wrote, it is. They just won't admit it. I assume you're talking about the mental health disorder when it comes to all this transgenderish. They're like, we'll push that, right? Little kids can make that decision that they were supposed to be born a girl, even though they were born with a penis. Little kids, no mental disorder. Trust me, those kids are seeing things clearly. But a 40-year-old who can't control what they eat and can't have the discipline to work out consistently, that's a mental health disorder. That's why Donald Trump won the election. Mama Lay wrote, I can't relate to obesity. However, I do have compassion for anyone's struggle, as I've had my own in other areas. Seems it's all about discipline. And discipline, that discipline word, that's exactly what they want to hear. That's the opposite of what people who are trying to convince people that they are victims. If I'm trying to convince you to be a victim, that discipline word is a kryptonite. Because if you start talking about discipline, what does it do? It automatically puts the onus and responsibility on the individual instead of taking the onus and responsibility off the individual, like this doctor's doing, by saying, it's not your fault. It's not in your control. It's in your brain's control. So let me ask y'all this question. Although we are not in total control of our brains, what are we in most control of? Although we are not in total control of our brains, Bez, this one's for you. What are you in most control of? Because we're not in total control of anything, right? We don't control how tall we are when we're born into this world. We don't control the family that we're born into. We don't control, I don't know, where we're born, like the country that we're born into. What are we in most control of? Queez wrote, our actions. How do we control our actions? How do we control our actions? Through our thoughts, right? How do I know I'm about to get up and blow my nose? How do I blow my nose? Through my brain controlling, my mind controlling me to do certain things, right? So although I'm not in total control of my brain is actually the only thing. My brain is the thing that controls everything else that I would say that I'm in control of. If I'm in control of my actions, what controls that? My brain. If I decide not to get up, when I get up out of bed, that's my brain telling me, all right, it's time to get up. Okay. So everything that y'all are saying, I agree with. So Quee said actions. Cuzzo said how you react to things. Ursi said ourselves. Let me get to Bez comment. So Bez wrote, maybe it's reverse psychology. People's brain will destroy. It tells them they suck, they're a failure, they are worthless. This is the point, Bez. When you have victimhood mentality, and I don't know whether I'm pretty sure that we're agreeing. When you convince people to be victims, you have to convince them that they are less than. If you're convincing somebody that they're a superhero, you have to show them the things that make them great, right? The great qualities. To convince me to be a superhero, you have to tell me about all the amazing qualities that I have. But to convince me to be a victim, you have to tell me, nah. For somebody to embrace being a victim, they have to embrace everything that you just said. A mentality that I suck, I'm a failure, and I'm worthless. If I don't embrace those things, then you can't convince me to be a victim. It doesn't matter whether I'm down and out in life. If I don't feel that I suck, if I don't feel that I'm a failure, if I don't feel that I'm worthless, then nobody can convince me that I'm a victim. Victimhood robs you of empowerment. That's a fact. Actually, our reactions absolutely thoughts. Our thoughts control, like, how many times have we heard, I know a lot of us here, we listen to affirmations, stretching, we do breath work, we do all these things. I don't know how many books that I've read on, I don't know how many books that are over here from the beginning, from The Secret to The Power of Awareness to Your Next 5 Moves to The Molecule of More to I'm trying to think what other books are on here, to Power, the 48 Laws of Power, to You Revealed, dope book by a rabbi. What did people used to say about The Secret? That it's the like, I've heard all types of stuff. People say, well, like, yo, that's actually the Bible. And I didn't even know what they meant by it. And I still don't necessarily all the way know what they mean by it. But if you read The Secret, you understand that it's all about how you think. Your thoughts become reality. So think about it from this doctor's perspective. She's trying to say that we're not in control of our thoughts. So therefore, we're not in control of our reality. Now, what is Wayne Dyer? What is a lot of the people that Deepak, I don't, all these people that you listen to, what do they say as far as when you're listening to your affirmations, you control your thoughts, you control everything else. The power of, like, these are all these books. That's what they're talking about in the books. When they do these studies, I'm pretty much, when they do these placebo studies, and this is a conversation that I was having the other day. My buddy, I got a close buddy of mine. He's now being introduced to a lot of herbs and trying like these herbal baths and all this type of stuff. And he's telling me that he's getting very good results. And based on like I think I've said this a while ago, when it came to 2020, I thought that our mentality, that fear killed far more people than the actual COVID. That was just my opinion. All right. That was my opinion. That's not a fact. I can't, that's just my opinion. And it's because our thoughts are so powerful. Our thoughts are so powerful. So there's certain, going back to the story that I was talking about with my buddy, with medicine, if you believe that medicine is going to heal you, it has a greater likelihood of healing you. That these studies where they have placebos, where they have groups of people, they give half the people the medicine, they don't give the other half the people the medicine, but they all believe that they took the medicine and they all heal at the same rate. Isn't that what that proves? How strong our thoughts are? So although you don't have total control of your brain, let me ask you this. What else do you have any bit of control over? Urs wrote, there was a study done by a big university that said 80% of people are unaware of themselves. I would agree with that, bro. I would agree with that. 80% of people being unaware of themselves. So Queez wrote, sometimes I'd be thinking of pulling off a bank heist, but then I'd be like, nah. That's a fact. I've thought about it as well. And your thoughts are what it say, maybe this ain't a good thing to do. Maybe that, just like you think, just like your thoughts have you thinking about a bank, pulling off a bank heist. What makes you not pull off the bank heist? Your reasoning, right? Your thoughts. Quee said, I still got your copy. That's why I had to get a new one. Quee still got my secret. Nah, that's your secret, bro. That's yours, man. Mama Lay wrote, is the brain and mind actually one and the same? I don't think so. I don't know. We could have well, we got more than one brain, right? We got more than one brain, so I guess they would have to be different. I mean, I know most people think we only have the brain, but a lot of people say that we have more than one brain. So that's actually an interesting point to think about it from that mindset. So if the brain and mind are different, which would I rather be in control of, or which would I? That's an interesting question. Bezro, why you think it's so much depression out here? The brain, one's thoughts cause depression. So if she's telling them it's not you, don't beat yourself up. See, and this is the thing, to each their own. If that heals you, and this is the thing. Reverse psychology is another word for lie, right? But you're just using the lie to ultimately get a good result. Like, or is that an unfair statement? Reverse psychology is technically a lie, right? So I'm going to tell you that you're not in control, even though you really are, but I'm going to tell you that you're not, so you won't feel bad about it. Okay. So let's say that works for an amount of people. Let's say that works for some people. But what if it destroys other people? So what if that white lie, what if that reverse psychology helps a few people here, but what if it hurts a few people there? Just like the truth, what if it helps a few people here? What if it hurts a few people? Like you said, maybe causes some depression. Which would you lean into? And another thing, this is another thing that I always bring up. See, you just asked me a question. You said, why is there so much depression out here? Why you think it's so much depression out here? You gave your opinion as to why there's so much depression out here. I have a different opinion of why there's so much depression out here as far as how it pertains to men. I think that we have so much depression out here because we don't have purpose, because the world has convinced us that we are victims, that we are powerless, and therefore we don't push to have, we're not inspired to go for goals. We don't have anything that we're a part of building. This is just my opinion, brother. This is my opinion. I know a lot of people share the same view that you share. See, I think that when you look at mental health for men, it's totally different than mental health for women. So let me focus on mental health for men. I think that men are depressed because you tell them that they are in no control, that your success is not in your control. Your wealth is not in your control. Your happiness is not in your control. We tell people all these things, and that's why, in my opinion, I feel that people are depressed. When people have a clear purpose and they're working towards something that they feel that they have an opportunity to get there and achieve it, to me, those people are mentally healthier, just in my experience. When it comes to men, I could be totally wrong. I could be totally wrong. Matter of fact, Bez, I would ask you this. Matter of fact, well, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Urs wrote Atomic Habits. Facts. I got 2 now, LOL. So if you got 2 now, you got to gift one. You got to gift one. Mama Lay wrote, we live on a planet of pure thought. Everything is created by thoughts. Blueprint before the building. Look around and show me one thing that isn't created by thought. That is a fact. So here we have our most powerful tool, our mindset, thoughts, our most powerful tool, but we're being convinced that we have no control of our most powerful tool. Our thoughts are energy. What we think affects our our energetic frequency. To raise our frequency, we have to change the quality of our thoughts. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Bez wrote, we all lie when we make affirmations and don't do it. We lie when we set intentions, but don't do it. We lie. Okay. What about when we make affirmations and we do it? What about when we set, you're kind of, maybe I'm seeing it a little differently, but I feel like you're making my point. You're absolutely right. When we make affirmations and don't do it, we lie. So what should we do? We should make affirmations, and the affirmations are supposed to make us feel more confident in doing those things that we would be less confident if we didn't make those affirmations. Isn't that why that I am? when God introduces himself as the great I am? Isn't that why I am is so powerful? When we set intentions but don't do it, we lie. Of course. So the people that are able, this is, Ursi and I were just talking about this, I think. Maybe it wasn't Ursi. The people that are able to be as honest as possible and truthful to themselves, in my opinion, those are the people that see very efficient results. The people that are able to say, hey, I'm going to consistently work out. I'm going to reach out to these 10 people for this sales, make 10 sales calls. I'm going to eat healthy. The people that are actually, that stay true to the things that they set out, because we all know what we should be doing, right? All of us know, like it's like anybody who's out of shape, you don't need a trainer to tell you the things to do. You can just say, oh, I need to run and I need to eat less. What does Ozempic do? It makes you eat less because it slows down your food going from your stomach and being digested. So therefore you have that feeling of being full longer. So therefore you don't want to eat. So maybe this is just my outlook on it. Maybe I'm off a bit. Maybe y'all disagree, but you know, that's just kind of where I sit on things. Amen, Uncle Brother. Facts. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Uncle Brother. I'm definitely with you. I believe Queez wrote, I believe depression is circumstantial and we live in a reverse psychology society. That's interesting. That's interesting. So we live in a reverse psychology society. Actually, I'm not sure that I'm trying to think. Explain that. Explain that. Because are you just saying, I'm trying to think, like, you live in a reverse psychology society. I'm not sure I understand, but I think I get what y'all are saying. Frequency is another whole topic. Bez wrote, LOL, I have no purpose. I'm not depressed. And that's what you chose to do. And this is what I was going to say earlier. You made the point, Bez. You made the point. You decided that you have no purpose. You decided and we've talked about this outside of the show, you decided that you want for nothing. And that's what makes you not depressed. But that's a mental choice that you made, an empowering decision that you made to say, I want for nothing. I have no purpose. Maybe you want to have no purpose. You're not depressed. You made that decision. You made that choice to live your life. That's an empowering choice. That's your choice. So you being in control of somewhat of your thoughts, you made that decision and you realize that that's what's best for you. That's you. Now you've convinced yourself that you have no purpose. I would say that, and this is the thing, it sounds good to say that you have no purpose. If you really have no purpose, show me. Why are you working? Why are you driving trucks across the country if you really feel that you have no purpose? If you got no purpose, then why work? You don't need money. You got no purpose. You don't need anything. So this is what I would say. I think that sometimes people convince themselves to have less of a purpose because it makes life a little bit more easygoing for them. Totally fine. That's cool. But anybody that's working tough hours, doing a tough job, it's very hard for them to convince me that they feel that they have no purpose. So why are you doing that then? Why are you doing anything if you got no purpose? Uncle Brother wrote, agreed, Leslie. Only I substitute imagination for thought in your statement. My understanding is that our imagination is how we communicate, connect with the creator. I agree with both of y'all. You are, I am, but they not ready. That's because we speak in the same language. They not ready, but I guess not. I don't know. Urs wrote, or when we do something for the sake of selling your soul to corporate America, now you're depressed. I agree. I agree, bro. Now Earth's going into some of these other combos that we've had outside. Uncle Brother, I agree. However, I feel it's both. No more corporate America for me. Decisions. People are making decisions. We make decisions with what? Every decision we make, every choice we make, we're using our brain to make that thought. I mean, we're using our brain and to make that decision. Let's keep going. There was one other point that I wanted to touch on with the Oprah. I think there was one other point going to I got the timestamp here, 28:13. Did we get the rest of that? I think we got enough of that. Let's move on. Okay, so we are getting into now people giving a little bit of their feedback. All right, so I forget what this one is about. Let's let's see what they got to say.
You literally can't win. You cannot win. You're shamed if you have obesity. You're shamed if you don't have. If you don't try and lose weight. You're shamed if you lose weight. You're shamed if you use the medicines. If you don't use the medicines, there's literally no winning. So I wholeheartedly agree. You are sharing your story so vulnerably and bravely online, and you're fighting for what's right. And what's right is to stop shaming and blaming people. Just let people do what they do. You're taking care of your health.
Yeah. And people ask me all the time how I kind of deal with a lot of the negativity that comes my way. And to me, I mean, so many people, when I talk about food noise or when I talk about obesity being a disease, they're like, I thought I was the only person that had these thoughts up here. And that outweighs the, no pun intended, that outweighs the other stuff, the negativity that, comes my way.
Well, you know what else I realized too, Amy and Dr. Ania, is that the people who are shaming oftentimes have never experienced the food noise themselves. They don't even know what you're talking about when you're saying food noise. And so that brings us to the point of, I interviewed Mel Robbins recently, who has a great book out called Let Them. You just have to let them say what they say, do what they do, and let yourself understand the power of what you're doing by creating community and building connection with people who've experienced some of the same things and are looking to improve their health. I'm so happy to know. First of all, you were telling me that back in March when we talked, that you were still trying to adjust to buying the right size for yourself because you were still thinking that you needed to get larger sizes. Has that?
I wanted to
from significant weight loss. It has nothing to do with the medication, but medications like Ozempic and Manjaro.
This, as she was talking, like my mind went off on a little bit of a tangent, I gotta admit. But I was just sitting there thinking, and like about the whole shaming. And is there a way to tell people that something is unhealthy without feeling like you're shaming somebody? Like what makes something shaming? If somebody is an unhealthy weight and you say that they're unhealthy, is that shaming? Or does shaming take into account how you made them feel? Because if a doctor says, hey, this is unhealthy, is this shaming? I don't know. That would be my question. I just, and different people learn, and people learn differently. You know what I mean? Some people can get shamed and that be the inspiration that I will never allow anybody to make me feel this way again. That's why I'm driven to succeed. Other people will be like, and tuck tail. I don't know. Let me make sure I'm catching up with the comments. So Bez wrote LOL. Cuzzo wrote private pays better. Bez wrote, so make a decision, do it or don't. Bez, you're not going to address, why you didn't address everything that I said regarding the lack of purpose that you were celebrating. Why didn't you address that? Instead of telling the truth, we use other methods to influence people. Instead of telling the truth, we use other methods to influence people. Oh, I get what you're saying as far as the You were talking about the society that we live in and saying that it's a reverse psychology society. So instead of telling the truth, we use other methods to influence people. I get what y'all are saying. I get that. Is there yeah, I get that. I wish that, and maybe it's just one of those things where, like anything else in life, we have to have a certain level of balance. So I don't believe in, well, everybody, I think the takeaway that we've demonstrated here is that everybody learns differently. Everybody's motivated, inspired in different ways. So I get that. So I think that there has to be a certain level of balance where it's not just you're fat, you're ugly, it's terrible, you're going to die. Yeah, I don't think it has to be that. But there can be a certain aspect of saying certain things like, hey, this is unhealthy. Like, I care about you. Like, these are some things that you can incorporate. Let's figure this out together. I want you to be here. I want you to live longer. I want you to enjoy life with me. I want you to feel good about things, rather than what I think they convince a lot of people, because people have almost either never experienced it, feeling, let's say, healthy, or people haven't experienced it in a very long time and they've convinced themselves that they can never get to that point, or they're not willing to do what's necessary to get to that point. So I guess hearing things like this, it brings them an added level of comfort. I don't know. Like, I agree with y'all. We learn differerly. Uncle Brother, Leslie, we're saying the same thing. Antonice in the building. Good morning, y'all. Shout out to Antonice. Uncle Brother, Urs wrote, Uncle Brother tapped in hard, always. Uncle Brother like minds. Leslie wrote, Uncle Brother like minds. Uncle Brother's the guy. Yes, it is. In today's world, because any way you say it, they're going to take offense. And that's what I was saying as far as with the shaming. Like, especially now we add this into the equation. When you convince people that they're victims, are they more likely to take anything that you say to them as if you're shaming them, or are they more likely to take it as constructive criticism? That would be my question. Bez wrote, stay focused, discipline that mind from wandering. I agree. Nothing to address. You said what was best for me. See, now Bez always trying to know. I did not say what was best for you. You said you have no purpose. I just asked you a question. If you truly have no purpose, then why are you doing the things that you do on a day-to-day basis that I, based on previous conversations, assume that you're not in love with? I've had conversations with you. You say you don't like being on the road. So if you have no purpose, I'm just asking you, why are you on the road? That's not telling you what's best for you. See how they now they embracing this victimhood, bro. I did not say I love when it plays out in real time. I said what was best for you. Absolutely. I did not say what's best for you. Matter of fact, the only person that's been given advice is you. You said in your last comment, stay focused, discipline that mind from wandering. And you said earlier, so make a decision, do it or don't. I just asked you a question, brother. I've been saying this whole time, this is my opinion. It's easy to jump on here and say, I have no purpose. I'm not depressed. Really? You got no purpose? All right. Well, what's the purpose of you working out when you feel like working out? What's the purpose of you going to work, doing something that you don't like every day or whenever you do it? What's the purpose? Mama Lay wrote, it's probably deep rooted, which is why I give obesity grace. Of course, I give, yeah. Dot. Shout out to my bro Dot in the building. Dot wrote, sometimes you got to just give them the medicine. I agree. It's you know what it maybe comes down to. If you really want to help somebody, you'll figure out different ways to express whatever it is that you're trying to express, like to give them the message. If I care about somebody and I tell them first, hey, like, nah, don't worry. We're just going to work out slow, just start off, if I try to be easy with them as far as, like, I understand that living in this world, there's a lot of access to fast food. If I gave them that, gave them a lot of grace and that didn't work and I really care about them, then I would try a different way. And then I would try a different way. You know what I mean? Like, as long as I I guess, feel like I'm getting somewhere, or I feel like continuing to try. So but I agree that we got to give we got to give grace. We definitely got to give grace. You'll be all right. Dot said, sometimes you got to give them the medicine. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. I agree. It's like anything else, drugs, obesity, the person has to have that desire. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter what you say. I've tried. And this is my question. Like, do you think that a person is going to be more likely to have the desire if you tell them what this doctor's telling them? Like, yo, it's not in your control. Like, matter of fact, let's wrap this up. For the people that just jumped on, I just want to finish off one more time. I'm going to play the thing that she said at 14 minutes, and then we'll move away from that, because that was the gist of the conversation. We'll play this and then we'll move
Suffered from obesity or being overweight, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You do not have to be on television every day to experience the same level of shame and embarrassment and why can't I do this? And I'm so good at so many other things, and I can take charge of my life and I can do all of this. And why can't I?
Right.
So the outside world telling you
that's right,
that you are less than, that you should be shamed.
That's right.
Feels like the punishment you deserve.
And it's absolutely the opposite. It's absolutely the opposite. And none of this is in our control. Somehow in society, we think that how much we weigh is in our control. And it's not. It's not. Our brain is in control.
It's like the alcoholic finally realizing that it's not my willpower that caused me not to be able to pick up the next drink.
And just like with...
All right, so we're gonna leave it there. Let me switch screens real quickly, because I think the next video that we're going into, let's see. Oh, Urs just had a funny comment. Ozempic works as a placebo. Lose 30 plus pounds with diet and exercise. LOL. I wonder, they should do a study with that, with Ozempic as a placebo. Like, tell people that they're getting, isn't it a shot or something? It's not, I don't think it's a pill. I think it's a shot. They should tell people that they're getting it, but not inject them with anything. And then we will see how that doctor is absolutely right. Yeah, it is in control of your brain or in control of your mind, as Mama Lay was saying. So there y'all go. There y'all go. Reverse psychology. Queen said reverse psychology. LOL. Dot wrote, Ursi, that's a fact. Yeah. I'm learning. Ew, it's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real